Hi guys, oh my gosh, I know it's been a while. Welcome back to my channel. And so today I just want to give you guys an update on the garden before I rip it apart once again. I want to show you guys what's going on in the garden. It's almost end of August, so I just want you guys to see what's going on, the changes that I have, and my opinion overall of this season. Okay, it's a lot to unpack, so I'm going to try to keep it very brief. So we're going to start off here with the arbor, and I am not a fan of cannons. Okay, I said it.
Said what I said. Okay.
So I have cannas in both of these containers right here. These are the urns, and I'm trying to find something positive. So the leaves, the foliage, great, they're beautiful. They don't need a lot, like the blooms is not required. As foliage, it's beautiful, it complements everything else. But the bloom heads, guys, the bloom heads are atrocious. Okay, I cannot maintain them. I cannot come out here every day and prune off the dead bloom heads, and when they are finished blooming, they look a hot mess. They do look a hot mess, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. So if you love cannas, great, that's good for you. This is just my personal experience. I am not coming for anyone. I'm not a fan of cannas. Now, would I plant them again? I'm not going to say no or never, but I don't see it in my near future. Foliage wise, I love it. The bloom heads, a hot mess. I just cannot stand it. We have some purple fountain. I say purple fountain grass. No, this is a potato vine. This is a purple one, and they are water hogs. They're a little bit droopy right now because it's very humid, and I did not run the drip today because it's been raining so much for the past several days. And then we have some begonias in here as well. They're doing great. The black cherry supertunia is not doing the best. I think because of the potato vine is taking away too much from it, moisture and nutrients from it. And I've only fertilized, like, 3 times in the season, so that could play a part in it as well. In here we have some purple fountain grass with some coleus. Now this coleus surprised me. It's not a particular brand. It's from the nursery, and I love it. I love the color. I love the variation of the leaves with the pink and the green and brown. And I only planted 3, guys. 2 here, 3 of them in this particular area, and as you can see, they are doing a phenomenal. They filled out, they're doing their thing. They are literally covering up 2 roses that I have in the bottom right here, and it's doing phenomenal. As well as you can see, we have a lot of beautiful lush green weeds that are taking over. Since I've been back from vacation, I haven't done anything at all. Nothing in the garden. Zip it, nothing. And so the weeds are living their best life, and I'm just gonna let them live until I have the energy and the strength to come out here and do some maintenance. So that's that. We also have some beautiful Lady of Guadalupe, I hope I'm pronouncing it right this time, Our Lady of Guadalupe roses from Jackson and Perkins. They are doing great. They need to be deadheaded, and the coleus are literally suffocating them. So when I'm revamping this area, I'm going to dig them out and maybe move them further towards the edge of the garden space, or put them in here in this section. I'm not quite sure on what I'm going to do yet, but in the next couple of days I'm going to take out some pen and paper and do what I got to do. So that's what's going on for this area in the garden. We're going to move on up towards the main front bed that's south facing. Here is south facing too, but I haven't come up with a name with this bed yet. I have not. So we're going to go up further on where the bird bath is with the junipers. So we are in the front bed. This is my first garden bed I ever created on this property. This is south facing. This has the bird bath in here, and then we have 2 junipers flanking the bird bath. I also have 3 hydrangeas in the back that you can't really see right now because of all the rain. I don't want to keep repeating the same thing, but I have to really emphasize on that. We've been getting a lot of rain, guys. They are flopping like crazy, so they need to be staked properly. All right, so we have the pineapple brandy coleus. I love the color. One thing I've learned, it does not grow upright as in height. It's very mounded and it's very wide, so you really don't need a lot to cover a lot of space. And then underneath that we have the double up red begonias. Now, I've never planted begonias in my garden. They just never spoke to me, so I never really paid attention to them. But these double up red begonias, one thing I can say, one, they are deer resistant. So a deer chewed on one a while back, like when I first initially planted them, and they haven't touched them since. So I think they chewed on it just to see what's the taste, what it's like, if they're gonna like it, because I never planted in my garden before, so it's new to them as well. So they don't like it, which is great, and they haven't touched the coleus as well, which is great. And then they bloom consistently, okay? Consistently. I would plant them again, just not in this area. If you're going for a high impact area, these double up red begonias, they're not going to give that to you. I needed more height in this space. As you can see, they're kind of competing just a little bit. The coleus is taking over everything, and this begonia, they are very short and compact. I thought that they would have hit the 12 inches side. They're more on the 8 inches side, and it's okay for now. It can go ahead. So down here we have the alyssum. This is a moonlight night. It's new for this season. I don't know what to say about this. One thing I can say positive: the deer, groundhog, they don't touch it. So we'll be replanting some more alyssum in my garden. This one, I don't know if it's because I am not I'm guilty. I haven't fed my annuals as consistently as I should. So I don't know if it's taking a break or what is going on, but it's not a lot of blooms on here. As you can see, they don't have a lot of blooms right now. So I'm gonna give them a light trim, because they do get consistent water, just not consistent feed, like fertilization. Oh my gosh. The sun is so bright, but that's that. And of course, in between you see all the beautiful lush weeds. Everything is playing along well together, look great together. I will sort it out later, you know, weed and pull some things, and maybe give them one last feed before we go into fall. So that's what's going on with this bed. I also have 2 cannas by my bird bath. Once again, I'm not a big fan of cannas, but foliage wise, they are dramatic. They draw your attention, and they're beautiful. They could do without the bloom heads, honestly. It's just too messy, and I don't have the time, okay? So that's that for this bed. Everything is looking great. My hibiscus, can you see my hibiscus in the back? They are doing phenomenal. I have one on this side and one on this side as well. This one is newer. I planted it this season, but this one right here is just, it's on a second. Ooh, child! I was saying, the sun is so bright right now. I hope you guys can see me. The one behind me is about 3 years old, which means it's about 6 seasons. So it's because, you know, from one season to one season is like 12 months if you count it that way. So it's about 3 years old, and it's doing phenomenal. Excuse me. It just started to bloom again. It took like a 2 to 3 week break, and then it started to bloom again. It's just like roses. They bloom for a period of time, take a break, and then they start blooming again. It's just that they bloom faster than roses. So she's doing amazing. So I mimic the same thing on each end, and this particular hibiscus does get about 4 feet tall and wide. It's pretty huge, but I wanted that dramatic look in the front here. I'm going to show you some hibiscuses that only get 3.5 feet tall, which is great for small spaces if you're into hibiscus, because I am, you know. Alright, so this bed is, I don't want to say it's new because it's not new. The back where you see those dead arborvitaes and some invincible hydrangeas, that bed, that was, I want to say it's original, but I created that bed about 2 years ago. And I've been changing it constantly because I've just never been satisfied. So what I've done this spring is I extended the bed out about 3 feet more, and I added in this hedge, small hedge of hibiscus. I'm trying to remember the name. It's new for next season. Walter's Garden sent these out to me to trial in my garden, so thank you so much, Walter's Garden. I'll put the name on the screen. I'll put the name on the screen, but they are very compact. They are very compact. They only get about 3.5 feet tall. They are so about this height, and maybe another ½ foot because they're new for this season. They haven't spent like a whole year in ground. They've only been in ground for a few months. You're doing phenomenal. Of course, I have some wild amaranth going on in here, some wild grass, you know. I layer down, you can't really see right now, but I have some clearance salvia here that I picked up. They didn't have a tag, but they are proven winners. They came in some proven winners can. I'll put the name on the screen as well because I cannot think of it off the top of my head. And then in here, I really wanted to try these beautiful snowdrift Supertunia Vista. Is this snowdrift? So one thing I can say between the Vistas and the bubblegum Vista and this, as I was saying, guys, before I got interrupted by the kids, So between the bubble gum, I love the bubble gum. I think everybody loves bubble gum. It's just so vigorous, like it does its job. This now, it spreads, but it's more mounded, more tightly clustered than bubble gum, and I think this is my new favorite. So the plan or the vision that I have for this space is that those arborvitae that I had, I came back from vacation and they looked not as bad as this, but they looked really, really bad. I think it's the water issue. So I recently planted them, and I think because you're not getting consistent moisture, and when I was away it was really hot, my drip irrigation wasn't working properly, so they suffered. So I'm gonna have to replace them. So I had the plans of having like 4 or 5 of them. I only planted 3, so I need to put another one here where the peony is, and maybe one more closer to the butterfly bush that I have right here, just to give me some height and texture and weight. I'm not looking for privacy between me and my neighbors. That's what I'm not looking for that. I just wanted them for some height, for some structure, and something to look at in the wintertime. Then below that, I have some invincible hydrangea. They get about 5 feet tall and wide. In a good condition, they can get up to 6 feet. So that's the next layer down, and then the layer down in front of that will be this hedge of hibiscuses. And I think like this is like the staple summer garden, like the height of summer when everything is like fizzling out. This is gonna give me that pizzazz, that bam, I'm here, I'm snatching your edges. You get what I'm saying? This is that look that I'm going for. Simple, but it packs a lot of texture, color, and variations in height. This space is pretty small. This front area is pretty small, so I wanted things that are gonna give me a lot of attitude, a lot of personality in a small space. So that's why I use the hibiscus and the hydrangeas. Plus I use hibiscus and hydrangeas, different variations, different varieties in my garden, because that's what works for me here. Clay soil, heavy clay that holds moisture, the heat, and they work for me and I love them. So I plant things that makes me happy. I don't have a lot of different types of plants. Like some garden, they have like a long list of different variations of perennials, trees, and shrubs. I don't have that yet. I'm just planting things and playing around things that makes me happy, things that I'm drawn to, things that I love, that I know work for me. So that's that. So let's just move on down back into hydrangea lane. So we are in hydrangea lane, guys, and it is looking beautiful other than the obvious. It is looking amazing. A lot of these hydrangeas are being weighted down because of all the rain that we've received, but overall I am happy with it. Everything just looked magnificent. I mean, it looked good, manalai. The place just looked nice. So I have these limelights that I planted about 3 years ago, maybe 4, and they're doing phenomenal. I have 4 right here in this area, in this particular bed, and then I underplanted them with some velveteen coleus. I love the dark color of the leaves with the lime green. It just looks amazing. And then underneath that, all the way at the bottom, we have some coral bells. Beautiful. I divided a big patch that I had last year. So in fall I had 4 clumps. I divided 3 of them, and I had like a big hedge. You can't really see right now, but they're here. I'm gonna try to get the grass. The plan is to get the yard cut and get the garden weeded and come back to normalcy, because ever since we came back, I've been back for about 2.5 weeks now, and I haven't done anything at all. The grass has not been cut. It's about knee height all the way in the back. But yeah, other than that, this area is looking phenomenal. So let's go down a little bit further. So this is where I have all my Bigleaf hydrangeas, which is like your hydrangea microphylla and some mountain hydrangeas. These are the hydrangeas that you can change the color of the blooms. It needs a lot of work here, and it's a lot of mosquitoes, but I'm gonna come in and finally, what the heck was that? Oh. It was a dead leaf. It looked like something like a huge mouse jumped out, or should I say rat, because in the city, just like New York, we have some vicious rats that the cats, the stray cats, they're scared of. Anyway, these are the containers. Back in spring, early summer, they looked amazing, guys. They looked phenomenal, just beautiful. And I'm gonna have my husband build me another bench so I can extend out, because now that they're getting bigger in body and bulkier, they need more space to spread out. They're a little bit clustered right now. It's like they can't breathe, but they're doing amazing. And then on this side, if you guys can see, I have another hedge of hydrangeas. So this hedge is fairly new. It's only about a year and a half, which means it's only been 3 seasons. And they're doing amazing. I pruned them down to nothing, like about maybe like 2.5 feet tall, and now they are about 4.5 feet, almost 5 feet tall as me. I'm 5'4". This area just looks amazing. All right, friends, so we are in the fountain area that I revamped this spring, and right now it looks lush, but when you take a closer look, it's nothing but weeds. Like when I came back, I was like, oh my god, I have a lot of weeding to do. But then I just didn't have the energy nor the motivation to get in the garden. I just wasn't feeling it. So the rain came in, and it's been raining non-stop, which is the perfect time to pull because the soil is soft. But I'll get to that when I get to that. So first, this is just I don't know, this area really came a long way, and it really filled out in such a short period of time. We have some sunflowers, Suncredible Saturn sunflowers right here with some grass. I love grass. I love to add grass wherever I can. So within the next week or two, I'm going to see if I can get some perennial grasses to add in this area for a permanent look instead of using annuals all the time. Something that maybe get around 6 feet tall, because I like that tall structure, the movement in the wind when it's windy, and just the texture of the leaves. So we have the grass. We have Nicotiana. Now let me talk about Nicotiana. I am not a fan. And it seemed like I'm saying a lot of things I'm just not a fan of. I'm just being honest. I'm not a fan. So I tried it initially because I saw it in the Impatient Gardener, Erin over Impatient Gardener, and I liked it in her garden. So I gave it a try. But I just don't like the look of it. I don't like the growth habit of it. I'm not going to plant it again. And then because I'm not experienced with this particular plant, the seeds are dropping everywhere, right? And then there are new plants. Then there are new baby plants popping up from all the seed pods. So now I got to make sure come next spring, every time I see a new seed pod popping up, new baby plant, I just have to pull it. The seeds are just dropping everywhere. So I need to come in, take this whole plant out, get all the seeds off first because I don't want any more extra seeds to fall, and pull everything out. I'm not a fan, and I just don't like it. It's nothing personal. It just doesn't speak to me. Like, plants need to speak to me before I can say yes, it's a permanent fix and I'll plant it again. I'm not gonna plant it again. Over here we also have this beautiful newly Noir coleus. It is doing amazing. It's starting to bloom, so normally I go in and I pinch off the blooms, but the color, guys, the color, this dark purple velvety blackberry type color, ugh, gorgeous. And then pink, like the light pink angelonia I have right here, looks so good with that plant. I really like it, backed by the salvia. And then I have Invincible Spirit 2 hydrangea right here that needs to be deadheaded. Just gorgeous. So once I take all these annuals out, this whole area right here is going to be empty. I'm thinking to plant some corabels. I can take at least 4 to 5 hours of sun during the day right here. And I have a hydrangea right here that I need to like pull out a little bit because it's the hibiscus is kind of crowding. It's kind of tight back there. So I'm thinking a layer of corabels, heucheras, the corabels, that's permanent fix. There'll be like a little gap where I can pop some angelonia in. They have them in pink, white, and purple, and bicolors. I just think angelonias are beautiful. They give you height and movement and deer resistance and groundhog resistance. So that's what I have planned for this area. Take out all the annuals, pop in as much perennials as I can. You guys know, okay, you know I have a stash of clearance plants. Okay. Clearance haul coming soon. Same thing for this side. I'm going to take out all these annuals, coleus, you know, angelonia, weed everything out. I'm going to have a big planting space right here. I also have a hydrangea right here. The hydrangea, I think it's dead. It looks dead, but half of it still look alive. So I'm gonna dig it up, cut it out, prune it as best as I can, and replant it somewhere else. Maybe I need to amend the soil or something. I don't know what's going on with this particular bed. Everything else is thriving, but this hydrangea, it's not doing its best. Same thing with these Nicotiana. I need to take them out. These Suncredibles are amazing. They really took off. I love the color. I love the texture it adds to this area. Now, if you remember, I posted a picture with nothing but bubble gums. So opportunity is the bubble gum. As you can see, there is none. Well, sorry, there's 2 right here that survived. Everything else is dead or got eaten by a deer or a groundhog. So I won't be planting any more super petunias at all in ground unless it's in containers. And the funny thing is, they ate the side down. I'm thinking there is a groundhog house somewhere here, but in the front bed on the side between me and my neighbors where I have all the white, they didn't touch it, but yet there's a groundhog house underneath the porch. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. So that's it for these two quadrants right here. The fountain is still not working, but I did pick up, excuse me, I did pick up the Flex Seal that you guys recommended, and I hope it works. So let's move on to the two other quadrants up by the front. The sun is pretty bright, but I hope you guys can still see. Okay, so right here where I'm sitting right in front of the arbor. The camera is actually underneath the arbor, and there's not much going on up here because these beds, especially on this side, this quadrant is very smaller. I have Eden Rose Hibiscus, some more plain blue salvias, which are a perennial, and then I have some pinky winky hydrangeas, and that's it. Then I have a few salvias, and these bubblegum are thriving, but the ones on this side are dead. Okay, and then this bed I'm going to definitely revamp. I'm going to take this whole bed apart. This bed is just like a cluster of plants. Nothing, it just looked like a holding cell, if you ask me. There's no main attraction, like a main specific plant, and then you complement it with other plants. It's nothing. It's just like a mishmash of plants just packed in here together. So I'm just going to redo this particular bed. I already have it sketched out, so I'll share that with you when I get to that point. Now that everything is winding down, kids are back in school, except the twins, of course. My time is freeing up just a little bit more, and I'm falling in love again with my garden, because at one point it just felt like, what am I even doing this for? I had to remind myself why I garden. I don't garden for anyone else. I mean, I love you guys, and I love the support, and I love to share my garden, but I garden for me. So I had to remind myself, why do I garden? I had to dig deep, think about it. Why do I garden? You know, I garden for me, for my happiness, for my sanity. This is a place where I can come and decompress with stress, depression, whatever I'm feeling, and just leave it here. Once I dig a hole, plant a plant, I leave it piece by piece here. So I'm slowly getting back into the garden, because I haven't touched anything in this garden for a while. And anyway, I'm rambling. So that's it for this area. I will definitely, I have penciled it in on my calendar for you guys. Say when I'm revamping this bed, to set up a camera, just record and do a voiceover if I just don't have the time nor the energy to talk through what I'm doing in that moment. I'll just record everything and then do a voiceover eventually and upload it when I can. So that's it for this area, guys. I will share the vegetable garden. Well, there is nothing going on in the vegetable garden. I have some hot peppers, some sweet peppers, some squash right now, and some corn that are struggling. My zinnias, they got chopped down by deer. Prior to that, the neighbor's dog kept using my garden beds as their bathrooms. Every time I would go out, there'd be a fresh pile of shit in my garden beds. Like, what the? Anyway, that's now cleared up. There's no tension, there's no issue. Everybody is back on one accord. And I haven't seen any dog poop in my garden. So what happened was, when I first saw the incident, I couldn't figure out what it was, if it was dog or cat. Further inspection, I realized it was dog, and it was constant. I had to take out the soil, because in my mind, it's contaminated, because if they poop there, they pee there, and there is no form, like, I never heard of dog manure or dog poop compost, you know what I'm saying? So I had to take out all the soil, start back over fresh, start some seeds over. Then I went away for vacation. I came back. I just didn't care, you know. So what didn't survive is dead, and the things that did survive, they're not doing the best. Except my potatoes. My potatoes, they are doing phenomenal. I planted some blue bell potatoes. I think that's what the name is called. They're purple skin. When you cut them on the inside, they're like a purpley blue color. I'm gonna try them out sometime this week for dinner to see how they taste. Oh, I had the best garlic harvest ever. The garlic was amazing. I cook with it every day, and I also drink it as tea. I squish it, like, you know, break it up so the oils and juices can come out. Put it in a cup, let it steep with some hot water, and I drink it as tea with honey. Amazing. Good for colds, good for, and, you know, other things. Okay, let's see what else to update you guys on. I don't know what else to update you guys on. So that's what's going on as far as the garden space, and the vegetable garden is struggling. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm going to start over with a fresh mindset, positive energy, positive thinking, and I'm going to do a fall garden, but I'm going to do it in the fenced up area all the way in the back. We have a fence, so the groundhog or the deer, they can't get in, or they haven't tried to get in. I'm going to do like Brussels sprouts, cabbages, I don't know, what, carrots, whatever they plant in fall. To be honest, I am not big on vegetable planting. I always go to the farmer's market to buy my vegetables and things like that. I try not to buy them at the grocery store. But I'm trying to get more into food production. I've always did like my spices, you know, my herbs and my peppers and things for my jerk sauce and things like that. But I haven't been deep in with food production, and I want to get into that. Plus, I have the land space. I have the 5+ acres that's behind my camera that we bought, I think almost 2 years ago. We've been sitting on it, and it's just sitting there. So hopefully I have some ideas and plans that my husband and I are throwing around what we can do with that. Maybe I'll have an urban farm right here in the heart of Baltimore City. I don't know. But anyway, enough talking. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for checking in on me. I got your messages. I just cannot respond to everybody, but I feel the love, and I'll try my best to be more consistent. At least one video a week. I hope that will be enough to keep you guys, you know, thinking about me and my garden, and to keep me in the back of your mind. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.